Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness Chiropractic Redefined, and I'm going to share with you today how I became a chiropractor and what has led me to that, and how it influences my practice today. So we're actually doing Facebook Live here now, so is it recording okay? All right, great. So here we go. I was poised for the kickoff. It was our junior year of high school, second game of the season. This was going to be our year, new conference. Ready to go. I'm screaming down the field all the way, and boom! I hit the ball carrier right when he caught the ball. You know it's a good hit when people from the other side cheer. And that set the tone for that game. We won at 65-0. And that year I was all conference and all Northwest Iowa. And I tell you that story for the contrast of the next year. 2 weeks before football practice started, I got mononucleosis. That wasn't so good. Flat on my back for days. And then when I got going again, it was really tough. It was a tough year in football practice. And then I did wrestling season just because it would help me with football, because I love football. And so wrestling was so hard. Anybody that's ever done that knows it's a heck of a workout. And I was just struggling and struggling and struggling. And about that time, my uncle, Richard, maybe you'll get to watch this, asked his chiropractor if there was anything he could do to help me. And he said he thought so. And I started seeing his chiropractor, and you know, in time, it took a little time, but I got my energy back, and I got my drive back, and I got back in my game. And then I went to college, but having a bad senior year and being at a kind of a low weight for my position, no scholarships or anything like that. So I walked on at Buena Vista College in Storm Lake, Iowa, and I actually made the team. I was on was the backup center. Now I know I look awful small, but I had that adrenaline rush, and I could get into people really quick, and I had a great blocking technique. And we were actually 7th ranked team in the nation at one point. So I had lots of energy, lots of drive, but you know, that year I did something that, looking back, wasn't the best thing to do. At the time we didn't know how bad it was. Now we know it's disastrous for the body. I took antibiotics for 2 years straight for acne.
Oh dear.
And during that time my health just went down. Gradually, it was subtle, so I didn't recognize what was doing it at first, but down and down and down. And so I was just struggling. Now also was at Buena Vista, I was majoring in business, but in the back of my mind I thought I'm going to take a minor in science just in case I ever want to go to chiropractic college. But as my health went down and down and down, by the time it got to my junior year of college, I couldn't make the football team. And I had severe headaches all the time. And I was getting more fatigued and more brain fogged, and instead of those A's and B's, I started getting C's, and I got my first D. I was working just as hard, and I was trying just as hard, and I was putting just as much into it, but my brain wouldn't work anymore. And it got so bad that at the end of that semester I had to drop out of college. And I was literally flat on my back 22 hours a day out of 24. And what little I could sit up, I was just dizzy and couldn't function. And you know what? When I was at Buena Vista, before I left, I saw the medical doctor in town there in Storm Lake, Iowa. But my lab work was pretty normal, so they didn't really have anything to offer me or anything way to help me. And I had what I call a structural chiropractor, because when you're as small as I was and playing as people way bigger than you, I was knocking my shoulders out of place all the time, dislocating them, etc. So I had a chiropractor that put my shoulders back in place and put my back in place so I could get back on the football field, but he couldn't help me either. And I found another chiropractor at home that used a lot of nutrition with his practice, and he was an expert in nutrition and restoring function in the body. And he found out that I had my blood sugar one morning when he tested it was 50. Now that's really low. Your brain doesn't work very good when your blood sugar is 50. And so he started me on different supplements and things to help my pancreas and my adrenals and help my blood sugar and help me to be able to heal. And gradually, and it was slow and it was tough, it was a hard summer, But I gradually started getting better and better until I felt like I wanted to do something. And then I just felt like I gotta change a direction in my life. And at some time during that, his name was Dr. Larry Dixon, he and his partner, there was a career day at Palmer College of Chiropractic. So they said, why don't you come? And they invited a couple other people, and they actually flew us in their airplane from northwest Iowa to southeast Iowa, where Davenport is. And we went to career day at Palmer College of Chiropractic. And then, within a few months, I decided, I'm going to make the jump, and that's what I'm going to do. And that whole history influences my practice a lot today, because that's why I'm really passionate about people with chronic health problems. People that haven't got any health or haven't got any answers anywhere else. People that are like I was, your labs look pretty normal, so there's nothing we can do. And those are the people that I'm interested in helping. Those are the people I want you to help me find. 5 minutes yet? It's not time. Those are the people that I want you to help me find. You've got a couple cards in front of you. It tells a little bit about our practice. One of the unique things about our practice is if you turn to this side here, you realize that not only do we do chiropractic care with a no twisting, no popping method, but we do lots of functional testing. This is testing to help us find answers for your health. Answers that may not exist in the traditional medical model. There's lots of ways that we can look at adrenal fatigue like I had at that time. There's lots of ways that we can look at gut infections like I had at that time. If you want to get a gut infection, take antibiotics for 2 years and destroy all the good bacteria in your gut. That'll give it to you. So we have lots of testing for gut infections. We have lots of testing for vitamin deficiencies, so we can find out what's wrong for people. And then you see this section here, nutrition detoxification. I study nutrition all the time. I've studied it 6 hours this week outside of my practice time. I'm listening to nutrition CDs on my way to the office in the morning. That's how, when a kid gets in front of me, I know what to give them to change their life. We just had an autistic boy a couple of weeks ago that his first visit, I couldn't even touch him. He was bounced. His parents were trying to keep him from bouncing, throwing himself against the walls and the floor and everything else. It was that bad. And I said, let's start with this one supplement at this dose, work him up on it, see him next week, and let's see how things go. The kid said 2 words he never said before in his life. And then the next week he showed imaginative play and said 2 more words in his life, and he actually pointed to his head about something when they asked him about a headache. He'd never done that before. He'd never had that kind of communication before. So I'm looking for kids like that. I'm looking for young kids like I'm seeing tomorrow with eczema all over her entire body at 3 years old because her gut's been destroyed also. I'm looking for adults with ADHD and attention problems. We help people like that. I'm looking for people that are more my age and they're just starting to slow down because their hormones are going off and things like that. I'm looking for people like that. I'm looking for people that are starting to lose their memory. So if you find somebody like that, you know somebody like that, give them one of these cards. That's what you got this card here for today. Share it with them. Maybe share this Facebook video with them. Share how I got into chiropractic, what difference it makes, and how the people that I'm looking for. And I want to turn people's lives around like my life was turned around.